You can snatch my wig at the end.
Okay.
Did you not know that?
No, I
forgot. Hello, everyone. I'm here with my friend Madeline, and today we're gonna talk about cancer and friendships and how that works, because
it's pretty weird.
Do we even know how it works? So we have some questions, kind of. Madeline has a couple questions that she's gonna talk about, and then I have some questions that I'm gonna ask her, and she doesn't know what they are.
Oh, I'm scared. Okay, so because I have a friend with cancer, a lot of people who either don't know about it or find out about it because I might have friends that are in a bunch of different circles and don't necessarily know Grace. They'll be like, oh, is that really hard? Like, they don't exactly know what to say. People, it's like, what do you think is the hardest part about having a friend with cancer? And for me, it'd probably be like, I don't know necessarily how to always give the best advice for, like, if you're usually talking to your best friend, it's like, okay, like, advice about boys or about a girl at school that's, like, causing drama, or, like, your parents are being annoying or something like that. It's, like, the issues.
We still talk about all those things.
We do, but it's, like, sometimes there will be issues, like, a couple months ago, she came to me and was like, okay, the doctors are saying I have to change my chemo, or I could stay on the chemo, but they don't know which one will help, and it might not get me into the transplant thing. And it was just like, I don't know what to say, like, to flip a coin. Like, it was kind of weird. Like, I think the hardest part would for sure be what advice you need to give to your friend.
Do you feel like it's ever made you uncomfortable to, like, try and make
no,
give that advice?
I wouldn't say uncomfortable. It just made me feel really cautious, because it's like, what if I give her this advice and then it messes up and then she's, like, in the hospital? You know, it's like a weird, like, oh my gosh, what do I say? And I think, like, as a friend and not as a member of the family, it's, like, easier for me to take myself out of it and be like, okay, well, enough about that. Like, let's talk about this, or let's talk about my day, or let's da-da-da, and, like, be more of the distraction. And, like, you can come to me for things that aren't cancer when maybe, like, at home or, like, your family is about cancer.
For sure, yeah. I think a lot of my, like, times where I felt like most like a teenager, most like normal, have been with you, usually. So
another thing people ask me a lot, is it awkward to be around someone that, like, is it ever weird or awkward, like, to not be able to do things or go places or blah 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 blah. And I feel like this often leads into the question where it's like, do you feel like your relationship gets strained because it gets awkward, or because it's like, okay, for a long time it was like, oh, we shouldn't really go to the movie theater, or when I was at school, it's like, you shouldn't really be going there too often if there's, like, a theater production or, like, a basketball game or, like, a football game that you might want to go to. It's like, do you want to, like, either wear a mask or, like, risk getting sick? It's just, you can't do everything that you would want to do with that person. And to that, I'd probably just say, if for a person that either has cancer or as a friend, it's like, you need to think and say, like, is your real friend? Like, do you want this to be your friend? And if you want them in your life, it shouldn't matter exactly what you're doing. It should just be that you have the company of the person with you. So I would say it could strain the relationship, or it could see you less. But if you are a real, true bestie for the restie, you just wouldn't let it happen. I have a lot of friends that say, oh, your friend has like, your really good friend has cancer, like, do you want to talk about it, blah 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 blah, like, that must be so hard for you. And it does get hard at times, but I know, like, Grace is my best friend, so it's kind of like, if I get sad because she has cancer, I might feel awkward being like, I'm sad, and she's like, why are you sad? And be like, because you have cancer. Like, it's kind of a weird, so I get a lot of questions like, how do you deal with that? Who do you talk to? The main people that I talk to about it is another really close friend of mine and my parents. And that helps a lot, just to, like, get things off of my chest, like, oh, I'm really worried about this, or, oh, it makes me sad that she can't do A, B, and C, or I hate that she feels like da 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 da. And then it kind of gets me back to being level-headed. So I would say it doesn't necessarily bum me out or make me super sad. It's just nice to always have somebody else to go and talk to, for sure.
It's important in order for you to stay positive, you talk about how you feel with other people.
Yeah.
And that's what, like, I don't necessarily, and it's the same thing for like my older sisters and my family. Like when they talk out what they talk out with other people, they're able to be more positive with me, and then I kind of like feed off that positivity, and it helps keep my spirits up. When I talk about having a support system, because people ask me like, how do you stay so positive? And I say my support system, part of that is having my support system be supported too.
Right. One thing that's really fun about Grace having cancer is this, like, she and I.
We have a sense of humor.
Yeah, we do. We laugh about. We make a lot of cancer jokes, which is so bad. But like, some
people are not gonna appreciate this.
Some people click away, skip to like
maybe just like skip
a minute, skip like a minute. Okay, so there's a lot of times where we like make a lot of hair jokes, and like specifically like.
Should I pull my wig off?
Snatched. Well, like, okay, so we were in the car. Like, no, don't pull it off right now because it'll take you 30 minutes to like make it look.
That is
like
not true.
Want. Yeah, you're very particular about that wig that she got. Look at my hair, and then look at the wig that she got. Okay. But like, okay, so today she got a DM from a lady that was like, I love your hair, like, it was like a lady at a salon.
Yeah,
she was like, I'm having a sale, like, I want to do your hair so bad, blah, 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 like, it looks so good, like, I'm having this deal, like, come to my shop, like, I'll fix your hair, and, like, we were laughing about, like, all the replies that we could have said, like, just go back, and it's, like, it's sad, because I know I was there when Grace shaved her head, her older sister and I did it, and that was a really sad day, night, evening, whatever, and now it's nice being able to laugh at the fact that you're getting a DM from a hairstylist.
I have some friends who think they're funny, and then I have some friends who specifically ask me like, please don't do that, and like, because it makes them sad, and if that's the case, I don't. But for me, like, I don't know, finding humor in something that's hard, I feel like normalizes it a little bit, and for me, it makes me feel like, oh my gosh, it doesn't have to be so like bleak and like serious all the time. Let's talk about shaving my head, because you were there for that.
I was.
How was that?
Honestly, I can 100% purely and honestly say I've never had a night that was so weird, and like it wasn't weird in the way it was like gross or like icky or something like that. It was more, here we were, it was like at one moment, because, you know, like, girls, our hair is, like, and guys, too, you never know, like, our hair is, like, you look at your hair and it shapes your face. I feel like it says a lot about you and everything, and Grace had just been growing her hair back out, and it's, like, to shave it off again, like, originally, she was doing a chemo that she got to ingest, like, eat or drink, and it didn't make her hair fall out. And so then it was like all of a sudden she had to change her chemo, and her hair was falling out, and it was just a huge turn, and it just looked really negative. So while we knew like, okay, this was gonna have to happen in a few weeks, like it just getting to the point where it needed to happen was really sad. But we were also making jokes again, like laughing at it, but overall that's why it was so weird, I think, because it was really sad and raw, but at the same really, time like, happy, and like we tried to make it as like funny and comfortable as possible, and we were kind of just like,
which it totally
go
was.
With it. And
I don't think I've ever had a night that I felt so sad but like so okay too.
You can always turn something sad, I think, into something more lighthearted and positive, even if it's not making a bunch of jokes. Like if the person who has cancer, you have cancer, don't like the jokes, or you're at a certain stage where you don't think you want them at that moment, that's totally fine. A friend can be the person that's just super positive and it's like, hey, like think of all the headbands and all the cool wigs you can get. Like I told Grace, like, let's get pink wigs, let's get blue wigs, let's get green wigs, like let's Kylie Jenner this, like come on, like, you know, like just look at the positive outlooks and try to find like different ways to help the person the best way it fits with their personality. The one thing that is so irritable when I'm with Grace, so the other day we were in downtown.
I know what you're talking about.
We were downtown, and when Grace wears her wig, she wears her wig, and then she has a wig cap underneath it, and if you've never worn a wig cap or a wig, it sucks. it really sucks.
It sucks. Okay, like right now I'm fine, but like after a couple hours, it's like I want to take it off.
It's annoying. It's tight around your head. It's like wearing a really tight elastic band just around your head all the time. And so when we were downtown and we were driving all over, when we get in the car, she would take her wig off and her wig kept off and just like let it breathe for a sec. And there was a man in the car next to us that was staring at us, and Grace like was sitting there and she goes, "Oh my god, like there's a guy staring at me," da-da-da. And I literally looked over at him and I was like, What? Don't stare at my friend.
But
I've seen a 17-year-old.
No, but like it's great. Love you for that.
Aww.
Okay, last thing. Have you ever felt obligated to do certain things for me or be my friend or whatever because you felt like if you didn't, you were like that person who like did something to that with Cancer?
Oh no.
No?
Not at all. When I became really close with Grace last fall, I just remember being like, okay, I really thought she was super cool before she even got Cancer, and now she's even cooler because she's a bad ace that beat Cancer, and that's who I want to be friends with. Like, if I'm going to be really close to someone and friends with someone, I want to be someone that inspires me and makes me want to like do really creative things and push to be like a better person, because if some of you watching know Grace and you know that she's one of the best people on the whole entire planet, and others of you might not know Grace that well, and she's the best person on the whole entire planet. She's so nice to everybody. You're so nice to everybody, and you never once, never to me, I don't think have ever said like, oh, like the world sucks, like why did it have to happen to me? Like maybe in your darkest hours you dwelt on that, but who wouldn't? But I don't think you ever have let that stop you from being a good, genuine person and like persevering. Has there been anything that you've ever wanted, like that you didn't want to do but you felt obligated to do or say or whatever? No. And I can 100% say if Grace needed like anything, that was, I mean, she could say, oh, I need this right now, and it's 6 hours away, and I'd hop in my car and drive to go get it. Like, I don't think there's anything that I wouldn't do. Like, and it's not because I feel obligated, it's just because I love you. And, yeah. And I know you do the same.
I would. I absolutely would. Thanks for watching this. Hopefully, if you know someone with Cancer, it was helpful. And if you don't know anyone with Cancer, maybe besides me, hopefully like gave you some insight, because I feel like this is something a lot of people wonder. I hope it was enjoyable and you learned something, or you enjoyed me and Madeline talking about Cancer jokes.
Yes.
So
I hope your wig was
don't ruin it.
I think it
Bye.